Welcome back, family. This is Soul Talk Sundays. Today, once again, we are talking about something that is very personal, and it is being the black sheep, the outcast. The one that's misunderstood, the one that always felt different, even inside your own family. Yeah, we're going to get into that. But here's what I want you to hear first. You weren't left out, you were set apart. Now let's talk about it. You ever been in a room full of people who's supposed to love you and you still feel completely alone? You were the one they talked about behind your back. You were the one they blamed for everything. And for years, you thought something was wrong with you. And you kept asking yourself, why don't they accept me? Why do I always feel out of place? Why am I always the problem? Well, let me tell you why. Because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You weren't built like them. And that was the assignment. Look, I know rejection hurts, right? But what if I told you that rejection was really protection? Those people can't seem to see your worth. Sometimes people can't handle your light because they're still living in their own darkness. God allowed that rejection to reroute you. He knew if you stayed connected to that dysfunction, you'd never grow. So he pulled you out. Not because you were weak, because you were called. You was the one that stopped the generational trauma. You the one that said, no, this cycle ends with me. So you started going to therapy. You started healing from the stuff they call or think that is normal. You started choosing peace. You started questioning the fake traditions, the fake loyalty, the fake love. And that's when they turned on you. That's when they turned on you. Your healing exposed what they were hiding. They needed you broken to feel powerful. They needed you small to feel big. They needed you silent to keep their secrets safe. But you said no. That's why they labeled you the black sheep. But that label, that was your calling. Y'all sit back and let me talk to your soul for a minute. You weren't left behind. You were set apart. There's a reason you didn't fit in. You hear differently. You see differently. You love deeply. God didn't let you attach to dysfunction because he had a higher assignment for you. You were never meant to be like them. You were born to break what broke them. That's why you're the one with the vision. That's why you're the one who feels everything so heavy, because you were made to carry the truth. Now we're going to move into why you need to stop trying to understand those who can't see you. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. You keep begging for love from the same folks who refuse to give it to you. You keep trying to prove your worth to people committed to forgetting it. But listen, some folks have to misunderstand you because the truth of who you are would destroy the lie they built about you. They don't hate you. They hate how free you are. They don't reject you. They fear your strength. They don't exclude you. They just can't handle your purpose. And that's okay. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them call you the black sheep. Because what they call rebellion, God calls assignments. And family, listen, you were born to be different. You were set apart on purpose for a purpose. Don't shrink. Don't apologize. Don't let the label black sheep make you feel small. Wear it like a badge. You're the healer. You're the cycle breaker. You're the one that changes the bloodline. See, being the one that breaks the cycle, that comes with weight. It's lonely. It's exhausting. It's a spiritual warfare 24/7. Because while everybody else got to just live, you got to handle the trauma, the burden, the silence, and the responsibility to heal when nobody else would even talk about. They swept it under the rug and you called it out. They pretend it didn't happen while you relived it in your body. They numbed to it. You faced it. That's not weakness. That's spiritual strength. You're the one that said, no, I'm not passing this pain to my kids. You're the one that decided it stops here. And that's divine. That's purpose. So when they call you dramatic, rebellious, or difficult, remind yourself, I'm just the one with the guts to confront what they too scared to face. And let's not forget, don't expect for them to clap for you. Don't expect for them to say thank you. They'll probably never give you credit for how you saved the family. They'll act like your boundaries betrayed them. They'll say you changed. They're going to whisper behind your back like you was the problem. But behind the closed doors, they raising their kids with the very lesson you paid for in pain. Trust me, they watching how you healed. You ain't loud about it. You just lived it. You became the blueprint. And even if they never admit it, you changed the whole story of your bloodline. You shifted the atmosphere. You turned the curses into clarity, pain into power, trauma into testimony. So now you don't got to beg to be accepted. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to fit in. You walked in rooms fully knowing I was chosen for this. Let them talk. Let them distance themselves. Let them say what they want. Because the same people who labeled you a black sheep gonna be the same ones watching you become everything they swore you never be. They gonna be the same ones watching your name get respected in rooms they never thought you'd enter in. They gonna be the same ones watching you win in silence while they still stuck talking. They gonna be the same ones watching God use you to break chains they still living in. They gonna be the same ones watching you glow up while they still gossiping. So let them talk. Now, y'all, this episode is for the ones who always felt different. This is for the ones who cried in silence. This is for the ones who never felt safe, even at home. Let me say it again. You weren't left out. You were set apart. You were built to carry what would have killed them. You were chosen to break what others kept feeding. You are the blessing. You are the interruption. You are the healing for your family that didn't know they needed it. They ain't gonna tell you this out loud, but deep down they know it was your strength that held the family together. It was your voice that finally spoke the truth. It was your boundaries that taught them how to say no. It was your healing that made them start questioning their own pain. You were the first one to say, I'm not going to normalize this dysfunction just because we all, survived it. And because of that, they watched you, even when they acted like they weren't. They copied you, even when they mocked you. They learned from you, even when they acted like you were the problem. You the blueprint, baby. You took hits behind closed doors that would have broken them. You suffered in silence while they pointed their finger. You walked through pain while they pretended it never happened. And you still chose healing, still chose growth, still chose peace. That's power. That's grace. That's favor. You didn't just survive for you. You survived so the next generation wouldn't have to start from the same pain. Now, they might try to gaslight you, make you feel crazy for speaking your truth, make you feel guilty for creating space, make you feel abandoned, make you feel like you abandoned them just because you finally chose yourself. But let me tell you something loud and clear. You ain't crazy. You called. You ain't rebellious. You're protected. You ain't cold. You just woke up. And you ain't breaking the family. You breaking chains. And I know this gets heavy. I know you get tired. I know sometimes you wonder if it's even worth it. But it is. Because freedom don't just come from applause. Sometimes it comes from isolation. And even then you keep going. You are the one heaven chose to clean up what others left behind. You are the one who turned pain into purpose, trauma into truth, and silence into healing. So wear that black sheep title like a crown, because baby, that sheep became a lion. If this message hit home and you can relate, and it's like a mirror of you, please drop "I'm the chosen one" in the comments. This is Soul Talk Sunday with HarmoniSpeaks. I love y'all. You're not broken. You're born for this. See y'all next week.